You've probably heard of Adam Nevill, alright, geeks and girls? I know that you've probably seen The Ritual, or maybe have read some of his novels. I know he's very popular in BookTube and HorrorTube, and to be honest, I've only seen The Ritual, and I've read two of the samples of his short stories he has on Amazon. And I can tell you something, one of his short stories, Angels of London, the story we're talking about today, has won me over. I thought it was an amazing story, and I plan to read more of his books. Not soon, because lots of books. You know, the reason why I'm not doing any book haul videos is because they are walks of shame. It's me like, I'm not supposed to buy books, but well, that's what I got. I know. At some point, Adam Nevill has put out two short story collections, and he had samplers of those collections on Amazon. They're called Before You Sleep and Before You Wake. The story I'm talking about today is in the Before You Wake collection, which is also contains stories from his book Hasty for the Dark, and I found it quite interesting. It was a reread. Back when The Ritual was coming out, I had friends telling me how great Adam Nevill is, so I scoured the internet, found these two collections and read them, and Angels of London has really stuck with me. There's something I do like when horror stories do it, and I really like when horror stories take a very real problem, a very real situation, and they build something supernatural on top of it. And Angels of London is about the housing crisis in London. Our protagonist is a wannabe actor who he had very little money to spend on housing, so he rented a dilapidated apartment on an old pub called The Angels, and it was £100 a week. He found a quick job, whatever job as a security guard, while trying to start an acting career, and he cannot afford anything better. Problem is that his landlord, Frank, is constantly hiking up the rent, and he's trying to save money in order to move somewhere else, but he does not. His landlord is called Grumpy. Our protagonist is Frank, sorry. So he's living up in a building called The Angel, that's atop of a deserted pub in Gumtree, London. He commutes 3 hours every day to and back from work, and his landlord is constantly hiking up the price, but Frank refuses to pay him more, so Grumpy, the landlord, is furious at him. Another of the tenants warns him that you should probably go and pay him the money he wanted, because they will be mad. There's a family that Grumpy is working for, and if you displease them, you'll go out. And there are other people living in this building, they're living forever. It's like Hotel California. Once you enter, you cannot leave. Frank doesn't believe him, but every night he sees mysterious shadows haunting his dreams, appearing in the hallway. So by the third night he breaks. He sees shadowy figures with creaking wings of sorts. It's called the Angel, right? So you can get what the shapes are, right? And he breaks as he's afraid, and tells them that I can do the job better than Grumpy. So the Angels leave him. They go on Grumpy's apartment, which is on the third floor. Frank is on the first floor. They kill him, and then Frank goes and takes over as the landlord, and he tries to find new tenants, because Grumpy had a ton of money everywhere, and the Angels demand money as sort of imprisonment. That's very suggestive. It's not exactly explained what is the motive for the Angel. I believe it's enslaving those that come into the hotel. And there is a system of roofs. If they're pleased with you, you go on an upper floor. If not, you're going on a lower floor. But the place is a mess. And yeah, Really, it touches upon a very real problem. It's very hard to find a house in London. Rents are very expensive, and it's very hard to find affordable housing because of reasons. It's a problem with many major cities in Europe and I guess everywhere. So it touches upon the idea of somebody coming without a job, without money. He gets a very cheap apartment, and things go bad. That's something you're afraid of. That you get a city apartment, you cannot live, and you cannot afford anything better, and it's draining your savings. And that's what Frank is living. Only there is a supernatural cause for that. So that's quite interesting. That's upon something very real and builds upon it, adds a supernatural element, adds some horrifying, some horrifying scenes that are kind of alright, I guess. It's not that much about the individual scenes that frighten you as much this very real thing. You can feel that, you know that, or you know somebody who has been into the situation. So yeah, that's it. That's what I liked a lot about the story. It really stood out for me, and I really like the atmosphere of the story, and not just the solid commentary that uses horror as a way to express something that is a concern for many people and makes the horror of the situation identifiable. Getting into a house that is inhabited by something, but you have also the landlord situation, which is interesting. It's not just the family moving into a haunted house. It's about the single person moving it into a place you cannot escape for, and that's really it. That's what I like about the story. The other two stories in this collection were interesting, but this one really stood out for me. I should probably get some of the Adam Nevill novels because his writing is solid and very enjoyable, and his ideas are interesting, which is something that can be very appreciated in horror. They managed to bring a fresh angle to a lot of traditional horror stories, which is always appreciated. So yes, that was my review for The Angels of London by Adam Nevill. It's from his collection Hasty for the Dark. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.